Silver buyback prices are like the weather. Everyone complains about the weather, but no one does anything about it. If selling your silver locally isn't working, try this instead. I'd like to thank my channel sponsor, Summit Metals. I've had great experiences on multiple occasions buying different formats of silver and gold from Summit Metals. So if you're looking for a dealer you can trust, please see the description below for a link to Summit Metals. But now I went to Summit Metals to consider selling my silver, and this is where it gets interesting. All right, so I traded silver for gold on Wednesday, and then this happened. So stick around to the very end because I will tell you exactly how many ounces I sold and what price I was paid. I've heard a lot of stories recently about how challenging it is to sell your silver at local coin stores. I got a text from someone from California that I've spoken to for over 3 or 4 years about silver, and he sent me a message saying that he visited a local coin store in California recently just to look around with his kids, but they were paying $40 back a spot and selling $12 over spot on rounds, and his thoughts were ridiculous. And I've gotten many other comments in my videos talking about how people are not getting good offers from their local coin stores for buyback prices. And I've thought to myself, well, I can go online to some of the major online dealers and some of them publish their buyback prices and they look a heck of a lot better than offers that people are telling me that they're getting from their local coin stores. So there's that. But then worse is that there's definitely stories, certainly after the refinery story, that refineries were not processing junk silver. So then there were stories like, well, if the refineries aren't going to process junk silvers, then local coin stores aren't going to buy 90% silver. So first, local coin stores weren't buying junk silver, but I was not selling junk silver. But then local coin stores weren't buying silver eagles. So there's got to be a better way. Welcome to Silver Heist. Thank you to our returning subscribers and guests. If you like gold, silver, or coin with a good story, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. So there's got to be a better way. So I thought it would be a service if I just sort of road tested for my audience what it's like to sell to a big online dealer. And I'm sponsored by Summit Metals, so I'd like to know how their buyback process works. But also I wanted to trade, say, 50 ounces of silver for a 1 ounce gold coin. Since I've been a fractional gold coin buyer, I don't typically have the budget to buy a full ounce gold coin, but if I could trade silver that I've accumulated a little bit of time over time, and that adds up to a decent amount so that I could trade for a 1 ounce gold coin, that would be great. So that's what this video is about, is just letting you know my thought process and what I sold, how it went, and what happened. So someone who's been buying silver and gold for multiple years, selling silver is like a new activity. So as much as buying silver has created good habits, selling silver is like a new skill that you really need to kind of experience and prepare yourself mentally for. So on December 27th, I made a video, don't sell your silver for below spot, do this instead. And the point of that video is that the silver spot prices have been going up higher and higher, but the buyback prices have stayed below spot consistently. So what if on December 13th, spot was 62, but buyback prices was -6, and then on December 20th, spot climbed to 67, on December 27th it was 79. If you don't like getting $73 for your $79 silver, just wait a little bit, and when silver's 88, you'll end up with a higher price. In a rising market, that seemed like a good attitude adjustment, and it certainly adjusted my attitude. So then when silver's over 100, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should take my own advice and trade, say, 50 ounces of silver plus for 1 ounce of gold. So that was my goal. So that would be a good path for me, but my experience might be some good lessons for you. So one of the first things was just to sort of understand what was the lay of the land. So I was fortunate enough to reach out to the co-founder of Summit Metals and just sort of get some concepts and figure out how the process worked and what the different buyback prices were. So certainly Silver Eagles would get you the highest buyback price, but I wasn't looking to sell my Silver Eagles at this time. And then I didn't even bother asking them about the buyback prices on junk silver because I knew that dynamic had not changed, and so there's no reason to do that. So I was fortunate enough that over 6-7 years of stacking that I've got different categories so that I'm not all tied into silver eagles or junk silver. So I had the luxury or maybe the foresight to have a broad range of coins and or bars. So I could move 10-ounce bars, I could move silver eagles, I could move or something else. And so originally what really got me thinking is like I would really like a 1-ounce gold coin, and I have 50 or 60 ounces of stuff that I don't even like that I would love to move. But then as things got closer to it, I'm like, so here's the first lesson. I think in your first trade, you want to keep it simple and you want to make it a win-win. So your first trade is not really your opportunity to, I'm going to sell 60 ounces of my biggest mistakes. And so I think you want to sell 60 ounces of something that people are going to truly appreciate. And the dealer is going to appreciate it, and the customers that they sell it to are going to appreciate it. So in talking to him, he made it clear that they had a pretty good buyback price on 10-ounce silver bars. And I've been a pretty big 10-ounce silver bar buyer. And so then I'm thinking to myself, well, which 10-ounce silver bars should I sell? That all 10-ounce bars are created equal as long as they're in BU quality, as long as they're customer-friendly quality. So knowing that 10-ounce silver bars were a good buyback price because customer-friendly bars, there's a demand for them. So here's the other lesson, because I've been a frequent buyer of 10-ounce bars in the past, but recently I started to think, well, that 5-ounce bars are the new 10-ounce bars just because of the price. But don't confuse your budget with the budgets of the silver buying public. I've been fortunate to buy kilo bars in the past, but taking it to another level is like, well, are the kilo prices similar to the 10-ounce bars? And he was like, yes. And so even though I might not be adding kilo bars, because at 32 ounces a bar and $100 an ounce silver, that's a pretty expensive purchase. But if he's offering a similar buyback price, maybe $100 silver is a good time to thin out the stack of kilo size bars, because as silver gets more and more expensive, then kilo bars are going to get certainly more and more expensive. And then the other thing is, like, he indicated that sovereigns would get a pretty good buyback price, not as much as a silver eagle certainly, but I wasn't 100% sure what I had, because I know I've got a couple of tubes of silver Britannias that come in like 25 a tube, but do I truly have 25? Do I somehow maybe have 24? So you got to know your inventory, because you can't promise something that you don't have and then just say, oh, I'll just throw in, well, I'm one shy of a silver Britannia, so I'll just throw in a Krugerrand. That's not BU quality. So certainly I think you want a simple story on what you're selling. I got 24 silver Britannias, and I got 6 Philharmonics, and I got a 10-ounce bar. You don't want too complicated a story. I think just keeping it simple is best for certainly your first trade or your first couple of trades. So a simple story is best. So he indicated that it'll take time to actually get your check, because they have to validate all the silver before they can cut the check, and that time is getting stretched out longer and longer. So I would need to be patient on getting a buyback, but we would lock in the price now. It's just that they have to validate it and wait to cut the check. So I would trust that, but I'm not really just truly selling silver. I wanted to sell silver and buy gold. So I wanted to trade. So do they really trade? It's like, well, no, it's 2 separate transactions, which I knew it would be. You don't really trade 50 ounces of silver for a 1-ounce gold coin. First, you sell 50 ounces of silver, and then with those proceeds, you can buy a gold coin. But then I'm thinking, well, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait all that time to get a check for my 50 silver ounces and then go back and buy the gold coin. So can I just have a store credit? And they're like, yeah, we can process that, and then we can send you what's left over. And so I'm like, that's good. So then instead of trying to figure out if I needed 46 or 49 coins to successfully trade silver for gold, I could just send more, and then there'd be a margin. We could basically effectively trade for gold, and they can send me a check for the rest. Well, when do I lock in the price on the gold? Like after I get the cash in hand, or while we're talking right now? It's like, no, like we can agree on the price of the silver, and we can agree on the price of your future purchase right now. So that was a great option. They even gave me the option of like, well, do you want to just run the store credit and buy the gold later? And I'm like, you know what? I think I'd rather just buy the gold now. So I thought I might have enough silver to not just trade for one gold coin, maybe two, or maybe even more. So it kind of just increased. So the more I thought about it, the more it just sort of increased. It's like I wasn't just going to send 50 or 60 ounces of silver, and maybe I could send in as much as 120 or even more. And he seemed interested in the 5 kilo bars. So you know what? That actually was a good fit, because it's a simple story. They just need to validate 5 kilo bars. That's a lot simpler task. They're all customer-friendly bars in terms of they're nice looking and in good condition. They only have to validate 5 things, and they're all practically the same things. So from kind of an accounting and a processing point of view, 5 similar things would be a win-win for everybody. Okay, so how do you move silver from one part of the country to the other? Well, you use it through FedEx, and you use it through insured FedEx. So after we agreed upon the price, they knew exactly how much my package was going to weigh. They sent me an official FedEx label with a barcode and all that and a tracking number from me to them. And then I'll just subtract the cost of that from my transaction at the end. The great thing about that is that we don't mess up the address. It's going to the place it's supposed to go to. And that it also comes with a good corporate FedEx rate, but more importantly, it comes with insurance, and it gets there in a couple of days. So on Tuesday, the price of silver was well over $100, 105, pushing 110, but kind of oscillating between some prices. And so I figured out the rules of the road and what would be a good transaction. And so on Wednesday night, we determined I was going to send 5 kilos. On Thursday, I sent them the FedEx package, and it's arriving at their headquarters on Monday. And then on Friday, this happened. The price dropped down dramatically. So I still think it's a win-win. So a deal's a deal. They offered me a price, and I paid the Wednesday night price for the gold coin that I got. This is what also separates big online dealers from local coin stores. And this is somewhat technical, and I don't totally understand it, but there's this concept of hedging. And hedging is basically insurance. Big online dealers don't benefit from a warehouse full of silver when the price goes up, and they're not really hurt by a big warehouse of silver when the price goes down, because they hedge their ounces. They pay a fee to ensure the price of their silver. It's more about having sources of product and having customers to sell to, and the velocity of the transactions that they make their money with. And so the price of silver, frankly, went from like 115, and it went to 95, and then it went to 82. And so it's down a lot in a matter of days or in a matter of hours. So what price did I lock in? On Wednesday night, I got paid $111 an ounce for my 5 silver kilos. And I acquired those 5 silver kilos in 2021 or 2022. So guess what my physical price was per ounce on average for that time? It was under $25 an ounce. So I 4x my silver in a matter of 5 years, and then this happened. I sold that silver. I bought an ounce of gold in exchange for that, and I'm getting a check for the balance. So if selling your silver at a local coin store isn't working, try this instead. Look to a big online dealer such as Summit Metals, and you might be surprised by the deals and the ease of transaction that is offered to you. So if you're looking to sell silver or looking to trade silver for gold, here's what I've learned. When the silver price is over 100 and the gold to silver ratio is in the low 50s or below 50, and you're thinking about trading your silver on a Tuesday, never wait till the weekend to sell locally. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.